And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. We thought we were able to pause, but it disconnected the stream. So we're back, and the Flash is here. You just missed him. He did have his mask off for a second, but
just like Master Chief from Halo.
Exactly.
Just like Carl Urban, he keeps his mask on. And keep an eye on him. He might disappear. He's fast. All right, so I have my screen shared. Okay, good. All right, here we go. So we got a bunch of clips here. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna, just to be safe, keep the audio off, and probably pause a little bit here and there just so we don't get copyright strikes from some of these. So our first, again, these aren't all our favorite fight scenes. This doesn't include battle scenes. That's going to be a later thing, but fight scenes between one, two, or a small group of people. And so this doesn't encompass all of them. It's just some of the ones that we picked out. So this is one of my picks from Scott Pilgrim, which is the third boss battle, which is called a base battle.
Yeah, dude, this one's gonna. I mean, this one is really good, but it's gonna be not nearly as good without the music.
No, it's not. But we can kind of talk about it. I mean, it's just like kind of absurd, you know. The whole movie is kind of absurd, but you just kind of accept it. It's so cool. And
I love the movie. The fact
the beginning of it,
being vegan gives him special powers.
Right, being vegan gives him powers. You got Scott flying through the air, making noises and stuff. You're right. It's gonna not be as good without the sound, but there gets to a part where they go off in literally a base battle, and it's pretty sick. It's not your typical fight that you would normally think of. It's a music off, but it's got a video game-esque. That's like the coolest part of it, is all the video game.
Yeah. It's such a good movie.
It's a great film. Yeah.
I always forget about it, but it's like such a great movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I always forget the actors and actresses that are in it. You're wait Chris a second. Evans. This guy is in it? Well, Chris Evans, I always remember, but this actor here, actually, I forgot that he was in it.
Michael Cera?
Yeah. No, not Michael Cera.
Superman.
Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Superman.
Oh, you're right. And Adam Smasher, whatever his name is from...
Yes, from the CW.
Yes.
And it comes up with a very creative way to beat him in the end. Right. It's just such a funny, anticlimactic way to end it, but it's still like great, you know?
Yeah.
There's no finishing move. It's just he drinks vegan or non-vegan coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a great one. Should we rate these? I don't know.
We got a lot. Dude, I totally forgot about Kill Bill when I was going through and making my list last night.
This one kind of borders on being a battle scene, but it's one person versus 88. Yes, of course, we got the Crazy Eight versus the Bride from Kill Bill. And it's just kind of an absurd fight. It's not realistic at all. But it's so cool. I blew my mind when I first saw it. Also, I love katanas, so that's pretty sick. Have you seen Kill Bill, Nick? Right?
I have.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I'll never forget sitting in the hotel room at Buffalo, Nick and his wife's
wedding. That's right.
And Kill Bill was on, and it was Lauren and my wife, and they were just like, "What is?" And Mom too, and they were like, "What?"
Mom was into it though. Mom was
loving it.
But
I also imagine Lauren Elizabeth wouldn't like this.
Nah, probably not.
Probably not.
All I remember is that somebody's head gets sliced off.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a cool moment. It's kind of like a mini boss battle here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's such a cool weapon.
It is. It's kind of like and also the hero gets beat up too. They have to work for it. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
The Witch King of Ag. Oh my gosh, as
Angmar.
Angmar, yeah.
It's King of Angmar.
Angmar, yeah. So she basically tricks her. But yeah, so then there gets to a point.
Wait, no. How does she kill her? I forget.
Oh, she tricks her with her own weapon.
Oh, she ties it up. That's right. She ties herself up, and then that's right.
Yep. Also, so much fake blood in this. It's like comical, but it's very like traditional Japanese.
Right, like coming through the eyes. I mean,
that quick.
Yeah. And then
then
this one.
Well, no, that fight's a little later. First, we get the 88. And it's just a bloodbath. It's kind of like the scene, I think, from Kingsman. They kind of reenacted that a little. Oops, my bad.
Dude, I forgot I knew James Bond. We didn't have any James Bond scenes.
Kingsman's not really I guess there are some fight scenes, but we can do more of these, you know. These are kind of some of the most iconic that we could think of. So
I mean, the most iconic thing of Kingsman is just when all their heads kind of pop off. It's not really a fight scene.
The church scene is pretty insane.
The church scene is pretty
I forgot about that.
Where literally everybody's just dying. So
geez.
It's just like, this is one of those iconic where the people in the back are like swinging swords at nothing, you know?
Right.
But like, what are they doing back there?
Right. If they had just all run at her at once with their swords straight out, they would have killed her.
Or at least some of them, like, look at that guy in the back left. What is he doing? But at least just like wait your turn, you know? But like,
oh my God, this massive blood spray.
The massive blood sprays. It's so good.
Put a Monty Python in there.
Yeah.
I almost put that in here, actually. I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah. That is pretty iconic.
This is a flesh wound. Yeah.
I could do this all day.
Absurd stuff, but it just works.
Yeah.
Basically, she kills everybody, and the only one left is what's her face?
What's her code name? I forget.
They're all snake names. I just can't remember what the snake name was.
What was her code name? The bride?
Literally a bloodbath. Black Mamba, maybe. I can't remember. But just look at the wreckage. Sick, and
that's a great one.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, we got probably one of the most iconic.
If we had to rate, I'd say number one. No, I don't know.
You turned her against me, liar. You will try. No, I will do what I must. I will do what I must.
Steelers and absolutes.
Yeah.
Peace.
I remember seeing this.
Security to my new empire.
Your new
empire.
I remember seeing this for the first time, and it was just like, oh my gosh, what is about to happen? Obi-Wan.
They did so right with this choreography.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about earlier over text, like music is just such an important role.
Yeah.
In these fight scenes. Like that's what the prequels, I mean, when Star Wars is working, that's what Star Wars is doing well.
You see what he's doing there?
What?
He was doing what he did to Count Dooku.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan rolled with it, and he saw it coming, and he rolled with him. Like such great choreography.
Well, did you end up putting the Obi-Wan versus Maul in here, Nathan?
What did you say?
Did you end up doing Obi-Wan versus Maul?
Oh yeah. Duel of the Fates is in. Yes.
No. The one from the Clone Wars TV show.
Oh, I did not.
Okay. So then I'll talk about that here while we're kind of going through this. Like, that's partially why I love the scene. So for anyone listening, I'm talking about the scene where old Obi-Wan is in the desert and Maul comes and finds him, and Obi-Wan kills him in like literally 4 or 5 moves. But it's set up by the fact that Obi-Wan does his classic General Kenobi pre-fight stance where he sticks the 2 fingers out, on his back foot, and then you'll see it flashes to Darth Maul, and he sets up how he would attack that defense stance. And then what does Obi-Wan do? He switches to Qui-Gon's classic stance, which is a more defensive style. No, it's a more freestyle, I think.
It's more like a pacifist fight style, I think.
Right. So then when he switches it up, Maul then thinks, oh, I've already beat Qui-Gon once. If he's going to pull the Qui-Gon defense on me, I'm going to crush him. And so he tries to pull the same move, but just like in this fight, Obi-Wan knows that it's coming, and he rolls with it and destroys him in, 3 sword swings. So
I've heard it said that he's the best fighter in all of Star Wars.
He is definitely up there.
Which
Hands
I could
down.
Believe.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like Yoda might beat him.
Yoda probably could, but
I don't know. Maybe not.
In his prime,
this is peak Anakin, right? Remember, he basically defeats peak Anakin.
Yeah. I kind of would loop Yoda in more with Qui-Gon. And, of course, there's Mace Windu, but Mace Windu uses the dark side more, so he's more aggressive in his fighting style than Obi-Wan.
I really wonder how Obi-Wan would do against Palpatine. Dude, this scene with them on the 2, oh gosh, this one is so good.
I have the high ground.
I mean, the balance that you need.
Yeah. You have the high ground. You hate me. I was your brother.
No, this is where he's saying, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy.
No, I know.
And you are lost.
Yeah. You're
right.
I mean, you just compare this to, the Rey slash
the Rey Kylo ones.
Kylo fight in Force Awakens. I mean, no comparison.
Doesn't
even the one in
oh my gosh.
Rise of Skywalker. What if we of all time?
No. What if we did a full breakdown of the sequel trilogy?
Oh, that would be fun.
Where we watch it live.
Oh gosh, that would not be fun.
And that's the only way to do it.
10 hours of my life.
Yeah. At least one of them. Maybe the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
Gosh,
so there it is.
I cannot wait to rewatch this. That's so good.
I know. Zach, you should fly up here when we go do our marathon.
Yeah.
You got him.
So
I thought about this one, but I actually rewatched it a while back, and it's actually kind of short.
It is really short. I did want to show this first. So this is kind of the setup for it. This is more of a battle scene. Obviously, it's the Battle of the Bastards, but it's like one of Jon Snow's coolest moments in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, totally got baited though.
His brother. 100%. His brother just gets totally. I don't even know what the right word is. Just slaughtered in front of him by Ramsay Bolton, who's probably the most hated character in Game of Thrones. Maybe not. Yeah. Maybe the second most hated.
I would say he is
probably more hated. I'd say he's more evil though. Joffrey's just a little child.
Yeah. I think Ramsay's more evil for sure.
Ramsay knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Joffrey could never do this ever.
No.
Ramsay's an evil man. Joffrey's an immature brat.
He's a brat. Yeah, he's a boy.
Yeah.
He's a boy. So Jon
tells Cersei it was me.
Jon goes out by himself to fight an entire army. And I'll just kind of skip ahead here to his horse gets hit. And so he falls. Ramsay's smirking like a little bitch. And Jon gets up. Just chills. This next part. The entire army, the Bolton army, is flying towards him. And he knows what he must do.
One of the all-time classic scenes in Game of Thrones, for sure.
Yeah.
Such a
great name.
Right now.
Such a great name for an episode, too.
I know. Battle of the Bastards. Yeah. And then of course, I don't have it on this video, but the other army comes, and then Jon is just like below this mountain of bodies and horses, and he's just trying to breathe. It's kind of it's
a great
very
scene.
Claustrophobic moment,
Right. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe either.
Yeah. So of course Ramsay runs away because he's actually a tyrant, and
he's got the Justin Bieber hair.
Yeah. Of course, we have a cave troll. And they knock it down. And Jon comes in.
Yeah, I forgot they sacrificed the guy.
Yeah, the giant. Let's skip ahead here a bit. And he's like, I am not leaving until you are dead. And what a boss. Ramsay is, turns out to be
a little punk,
a little scaredy cat, a little pussy, if you will.
And he feeds him to the dogs, right?
He does. He feeds him to his own dogs. There's a lot of those moments in Game of Thrones where it's like the justice that people get is the justice that they give. Yeah. Ramsay being feeding people to his dogs. He gets fed to his dogs. What's his face? Walder Frey gets cut. His throat gets cut by a Stark, and he has to eat his own children.
Yeah.
Man. Lots of great.
Do y'all know who Larry Correia is, the author?
Nope.
So he's a hardcore Second Amendment advocate, but he's also wrote those books, the Monster Hunter International books, which I think I've talked about on the podcast before. Really fun, like classic monster hunting, obviously.
Yeah.
For the name.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So he went off on George R.R. Martin because George R.R. Martin basically tried to say he was a better author than Tolkien because Tolkien didn't bother to spend the time doing what happened after Happily Ever After and just ended his stories at Happily Ever After, basically. But he's like, but did he take the time to write about the characters dealing with the repercussions of their actions in their story, or did he write about the tax codes of, blah, 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 blah? And Larry Correia is like, you dipshit, basically. Like, if you write a good story, you don't need to care about the tax code. Like, what even is that? You're trying to say Tolkien is a crap writer? You can't even finish your own story.
Well,
because you've killed off all the characters. George R.R. Martin literally said he's having trouble finishing the story because he's killed off so many characters.
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
When you do death and destruction for nihilism's sake,
you're
in a bind.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. Yeah, we talked about this last week, but he's wailing on about toxicity in fandom because people don't talk about good stuff anymore, only negative. And it's like, dude, just write your book.
Yeah.
And that you have never written really anything that bad. People actually enjoy your work. So why don't you just finish your work? If you're, complaining about negativity, then create something positive then. And stop trying to get clout.
He can't finish his book or
write your book, George.
Because he's killed everything off.
Yeah.
And also, while we're on the wrapping up Game of Thrones, we should have put what's the battle? It's Ned Stark versus the dude dual wielding the sword.
I thought about it, but
that's a good scene.
It is a cool scene, but it's not that cool of a sword fight, honestly.
I guess
it helps if you know the character, I think, but the other guy. Again, I don't know him, but apparently he's supposed to be the best swordsman in Westeros at the time, and I don't know. It's kind of underwhelming. I thought
5-on-1 or whatever, and
yeah. I don't know.
3 of them, I guess. All right. Anyways, all right. Yeah, Rocky versus Apollo. Good one.
Right. So this is
any
Apollo.
Rocky fight. Honestly, almost any final fight in a Rocky movie should be up here.
This is Rocky 2 though, and this was kind of the moment where it's like, okay, Rocky truly did win. You know, it's a great payoff from Rocky 1, where it's like Apollo really kind of loses it, and Rocky deserves the win. Such great movies.
Is Apollo's Carl Weathers, right? Yeah, that's Carl Weathers.
Yep.
Which did you see him in the Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah.
Yep. I was like, wait a minute. That's Carl.
Well, they mentioned him. Yeah, they mentioned it.
And then
cut me.
Rocky. Dude, speaking of Rocky, did you know there will be a World Cup game in Philadelphia on July 4th?
Oh, really? Wow.
Of the year of the World Cup, and that's the 250th anniversary of 1776.
That's awesome.
So I am hoping that it somehow ends up being England versus US in Philadelphia on July 4th. Could you imagine?
That would be pretty legendary.
That would be awesome.
Unless England wins, then I'd be like,
right.
Uh-oh. But yeah, Rocky wins.
Great. I love Rocky.
I
need
too.
to watch Rocky and then watch Creed again.
Some of the greatest soundtrack too in film. Adrian. So good.
Nice.
I love those movies. Well, let's switch gears to some Marvel. So this is Captain America Civil War. This is the fight between Cap and Bucky versus Iron Man.
Yep.
And some of this is pretty cool fighting, but it also gets to some iconic moments here. I'm going to try to get to
the comic book panel.
Yeah. So the three of them are down there. And it's just them wailing on Iron Man. And he takes him out.
Yep.
It was a cool moment.
Dude, that's why Iron Man's my favorite.
And hopefully we don't get copyright here, but
yeah, Disney can be brutal with copyrights.
Disney and Warner Bros. Too.
Really?
Just here, right here, like
trading the shield on and off.
Yes. It's just like none of them are going to give up. It's just three men who are willing to do anything.
Yeah. Dude,
oh my gosh, yeah. And then he's like, boom. That right there is a classic. And then he just destroys his arm.
Oh, that's right.
And then this is the comic book moment.
Oh yeah.
Oh, chills, literal chills.
Man.
Yep.
This is what Marvel used to do.
It's too much toxic masculinity right there.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
You can hear this picture.
I know. The Qui-Gon dies, and you're like, the raw emotion, just the control of the dark side trying to keep it down.
Yep.
In the words of my master, I will find you and I will kill you.
Oh my gosh, just so good. Why can't you do this still?
I can't believe we played down the prequels so much.
Yeah. I know. I mean, and like the first appearance of a dual blade or double-bladed lightsaber. Ray Park is an amazing choreographer and fight, stunt actor.
I do like the air kick that doesn't actually make.
I know.
One's face.
Yeah. One of the coolest endings.
I just think of a cat.